Welcome to another edition of Tobs Talk. Mika here is the host. We'll break down today's matchup against the Kernersville Bulldogs. Coach Love will come in and me and him will discuss how the difference between a night game and a day game may affect a player. And then me and Riley Corcoran will talk about how this game might be a momentum shift to build a mini winning streak going into the second half of the season. This is all coming up on Tobs Talk. Welcome back to Tobs Talk. Here we are with Coach Austin Love talking about Kernersville Bulldogs at noon today. Now, you play for Kernersville, so you have a little background with them. Talk about a little about that.
I played for Kernersville after my redshirt year in college. I had surgery, and it was a good experience for me to go out there. Coach Dale Limes is a great coach, great man, and he gave me an opportunity to come out there and just kind of work my way in hitting and let my arm get healthy and play little positions. And playing for him was great because he kind of taught me how to win a little bit. That's all we were about there. We won the championship that year, and then the following 2 years they won the championship, and I think they've pretty much rolled through the leagues that they've been in here since. So playing against him is going to be fun. I've never coached against him, and he's one of my mentors for a long, long time, one of my advisors that I look to for advice, and it's going to be fun going against him.
Right. Now, it's a day game, and being a former player, did you like playing in the day or did you like playing at night? What was more fun for you?
As a player, I prefer the night game. The ball looks a little brighter at night. And especially these days, I always tell our guys, man, I swear every summer gets hotter. So, these days with the day games, it is very exhausting, playing a noon game when the sun's at its peak. So that's a little bit different, from a coaching aspect. The turnaround from the night game, against Peninsula is going to be tough. Just trying to make sure guys do what they're supposed to as far as getting in bed and making sure they're energized and ready to go. Even for those guys who may think they're not going to play today. So, just trying to keep everybody ready and loose because we may have to use multiple guys depending on the weather. Right.
Like talking about that schedule, I was about to ask you, how are you going to get the guys ready for a day game? It's going to be different for them. It's going to be, the night to the day. And so as you talked about that.
Yeah, it just, like I said, you just got to let them know to be men. They need to handle business and go to bed at appropriate times and try to get up and eat breakfast and stuff like that. And, just be prepared and stay hydrated is one of the main things. Get good meals and stay hydrated, drink a lot of water because it is going to be hot.
Right. Also, there's a couple tough games after this game against the Bulldogs. We have Fayetteville, Edenton, and Fayetteville again. How do you guys, how do you prepare your team to focus on this game before, those three games?
Oh, well, you never know with the weather these days. It might rain Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So, we just have to prepare for this one game and kind of use it to catapult ourselves offensively. And, hopefully, our staff will throw a lot of strikes today and we can get a lot of guys in there and, pull out a win. Kernersville is going to be very tough because historically, Coach Imes, he's a pitching guy. He loves pitching and defense, so I know he's going to have a couple good arms to throw at us. And I know because we have a personal relationship, he doesn't want to lose to me. So.
Right, I got you. That's Coach Austin Love breaking down today's game against the Kernersville Bulldogs. We'll talk with Riley Corcoran to break down today's game. This is Tobs Talk on Greenlight. Welcome back to Tobs Talk. Me and Riley Corcoran will discuss today's matchup against the Kernersville Bulldogs. First, it's a noon o'clock game. It's the dog days of summer. What's the difference between a 7:05 night game and a noon game? How does a player prepare itself?
Well, it's a little bit different in the sense where it's coming after that night game. I mean, it'd be different if there was maybe an off day before or not, but it'll be a quick turnaround for the guys. Just more about the body clock, making sure that after the game against Peninsula that, hey, everybody's ready to go for today. And that's the biggest thing. I think once they take the field, it'll be, just like riding a bike, basically. They'll be ready to go, I think. But just about that preparation of making sure that after last night's game against Peninsula, everybody went home, figured it out, and once they get to the field today, it should be second nature.
Right. Now you say preparation. It is an exhibition game today. What's the difference between an exhibition game? We have a couple games. Tobs have a couple, games against Fayetteville, Edenton, and then Fayetteville again. Is it, going to be a struggle for them to look past this game and then look at the three games ahead?
Well, obviously, yes, because, those next three games are going to be huge. Fayetteville right now third, Wilson fourth. So those games are huge. That goes without saying. But at the same time, we always talk about it. I know Coach Love is probably sick to death of the phrase, but building momentum, trying to build that momentum. This is the time for the Tobs to do it. And yes, this is an exhibition game, but if you go back, that last exhibition game against Fuquay-Varina, where the Tobs really didn't have their best performance, that was in the middle of a huge losing streak because the Tobs did start out 4-0, and that game, although it didn't seem like it at the time, turned out to be right in the middle of what was maybe the worst losing streak of the year for Wilson.
Right.
And so this game, although it may not seem like it, is big in the sense of just keeping things rolling, keeping it going. And again, with those big games against Fayetteville and Eatonton coming up this weekend.
You mentioned, momentum. They struggled against Fayetteville Swamp Dogs earlier in the year, and they finally had that walk-off win. Luke Lowry coming up clutch for the Tobs. How important is it, these two games, to build that momentum against Fayetteville going into the second half?
Well, it's big, first off, but I think now that first win is over with, it's that big monkey off the back,
Right.
because these teams are pretty close. I mean, the
Right.
records speak for themselves. I mean, there's no way Fayetteville is 5 games better than the Wilson
Right.
Tobs. It's just not how it works out with baseball, but yet they beat them 5 out of 6 times. After the Tobs get that first win, I think that last day of the first half really just puts the mental side of it out, and it's just physical. Everybody can go out and play the game, and I think that the Tobs will have a new mindset as they take on the Swamp Dogs 2 out of 3 games this weekend.
Right, that's me and Riley breaking down today's matchup against the Kernersville Bulldogs. We'll close out the show next. This is Tobs Talk on Greenlight. And that wraps up another edition of Tobs Talk. Come out to historic Fleming Stadium today as the Tobs will host the Kernersville Bulldogs. It's picnic in the park, so enjoy all the water festivities before the game. We'll see you on Friday for another edition of Tobs Talk on Greenlight.